Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of You Can't Handle the Tooth. This is Dr. J, the real floss boss. And we've got an episode for you today we think you'll like. It's a subject we get asked a lot of questions about, and that is, what is the difference between bonding and veneering? And so before we get into it, though, I just want to say thank you to everyone. The last video, even last week, had well over 1,000 views just on that one. And we've been doing this for several weeks now, so it's just really been thousands and thousands of people logging in. And so it seems like it's an interesting topic. So we're going to keep it rolling as long as you guys are interested. Please don't hesitate. Continue to send me topics. I have a long list that I've gotten from people. If there's something on your mind about dentistry, and it doesn't matter what it is, I won't use your name. You just send it in. Either I get them through Instagram, I get messages through Snapchat, I get them on Facebook. And so let us know, and we will make an episode just for you. So bonding versus veneering. Lots of questions on this. Frequently, the same questions. That's why it is a topic. I've got Megan helping today. Please say hello, Megan.
Hello.
And so we put a list together of the top 4 questions or so that we get asked. And so let's get started. What's the first question?
What is bonding?
Bonding. We'll start with what is bonding. So I'm getting really technical. This is just my personality when people talk about words. Like permanent. Permanent doesn't always mean permanent. And so I get technical with that. And bonding has multiple meanings as well, because we can bond on crowns, and that's not what we're referring to when people say bonding. What they usually mean is fixing cosmetic defects in the smile. And that is edges on the teeth that are broken or chipped, spaces between the teeth, rotations, color blemishes, things like that. They want to know about bonding. And what that means is it is like a direct filling. So we basically prepare the tooth in a way that we need to, and we use composite resin, which is the same type of material. Again, it's not the same, but it's similar material than what's used for tooth-colored fillings that are done in the back. And the difference in the materials have to do with strength versus polishability. That is the fight in doing smile enhancements with bonding. So the ones in the back, you want them to be super strong. If they're super strong, they don't always polish as good. The ones in the front, you want them to polish as good, but you also want them to be strong. So you have to find out what's the perfect composite to use, but it's basically doing a filling on the front teeth. So we can correct chips on the edges, we can lengthen the teeth, we can fix blemishes on the teeth, we can close spaces, things like that, all with bonding. We can also lighten the teeth with bonding. And so how it works is it's same-day procedure. It's pretty quick. Sometimes it doesn't even need anesthesia. And in one appointment, you literally can leave in just a little while with a much better-looking smile, a brighter smile, healthier, more natural-looking smile. Now, that's the advantage. The other advantage, one more advantage, is it's relatively cheap. I know cost is going to be one of these questions we get, and I'm going to go over that in a minute. But when you compare bonding to veneering, and I will get specific with you when that question comes up, the resin is cheaper. Doing a bonding, a filling on the front teeth is cheaper than doing a veneer, which is porcelain. We'll talk about that in a second. So that's the advantage. It's quick and it's cheap. Disadvantages. Most composites, virtually all composites, are not color stable. So not only do they lose their luster over time and can dull, they can also change color. They can dim. They can turn a little more yellow. Just the foods and things we put in our mouth over time will stain them, and they'll have to be redone at some point. How quick? I know that's the next question. How often do you have to have it redone? Well, it depends on your diet. So if you're a heavy wine drinker, a smoker, things like that, it's going to be more frequently than if you're a Sprite drinker, or water all the time, and you like light-colored pasta sauces or, whatever. So the depends on your diet as to how often they have to be upgraded based on the color change. But they will require maintenance. That is the disadvantage with the bonding. They do require maintenance. The other thing that they can do, they can chip. They can even flake. You know, over time, you might get a little stain line somewhere on there where the interface is starting to degrade a little bit between the filling and the tooth. So it can be done quick, it's cheap, but it won't last as long. It will require upkeeping. I call it a fluff and buff. So we'll do a little fluff and buff on them and get you back going. Usually a warranty in most offices, assuming we're comparing all the same factors, dentists will warranty these things for about a year. But sometimes if something goes wrong with them, it's absolutely no fault of the dentist. You know, dentists can't control how you grind your teeth at night or the things you habitually chew on, like pens, or if you're an ice chewer or whatever. So there's some things just totally out of the control of the dentist, but that's about right. So that's bonding, direct fillings on the front teeth. I know your next question is, what is a veneer? And we covered this. We covered veneers in another video, so I would suggest you go onto our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel, because all the videos get posted on our YouTube channel as well, and watch the video where we talked about veneering. But for the sake of this conversation, which most people ask, what's the difference between bonding and veneering? Veneering has a couple of other advantages and disadvantages. So the advantages to veneering is it's porcelain. They're much more durable. I mean, they're the kind that you can bite into an apple confidently and not have to really worry. They are color stable, which is also awesome. So it doesn't really matter what your diet is like. You can get extrinsic stains on there if you're, like, say, a smoker, or you can get extrinsic staining, but nothing that a hygienist can't polish off at your routine cleaning visit. Okay, so those are the advantages. They last longer, and they're color stable. You can also do a little bit more. You can improve the smile easier. Easier is not the greatest word. You can improve your smile with a larger variety of smile defects than you can with bonding. So you can do a lot more with veneering. You can correct a lot more with veneering than you can with bonding. Okay. Disadvantages. Usually for traditional veneers, not prepless veneers, which I did say we're going to make a video on, and we will, but for traditional veneers, it's usually 2 or 3 appointments. And so the regular, the routine length of time from start to finish is around 6 weeks. Those can be sped up, and sometimes they take a little bit longer, but it's about 6 or 8 weeks from start to finish. And I mean from start, like consult, smile, style, selection, to cementation, and you're done. About 6 or 8 weeks. That's a disadvantage. Another disadvantage is cost. Relatively speaking, a bonding versus a veneer, the veneers are usually 3 or 4 times more expensive, but they also last longer. So they're color stable, they last longer, you can do more with them, correct more with them. The durability on those, I mean, most dentists will, on average, will probably guarantee them for around 5 years, plus or minus, depending on other circumstances, but that's usually about what it is. But they should last a lot longer than that. The studies show that they'll last 8 to 10 years on average, but hopefully even longer. I mean, there's been plenty of cases that they last 15, 20 years before any of them have to be replaced. Okay, what's the next question?
Will my insurance cover any of the costs?
Insurance. Insurance question always comes up. So don't forget, another video we talked about this $1,500 a year maximum, which is about the average. So it doesn't really matter if you spend $15,000 on veneers, the insurance is going to pay like $1,500. That's it. The rest is going to be out of pocket, which you can manage in different ways. There are different options, but that's how that goes. Insurance will usually, if it's not for only cosmetic purposes. Let me back up. Insurance companies, there are 2 ways to answer this. Number 1, some insurance companies simply cover them. It's just a line item where they say, veneers, we cover them, proceed. All right? And then you've got your maximum. And there's other policies that say, we don't cover them, veneers are cosmetic. And then dentists can sometimes, a veneer is a very generic term, and a tooth may get a veneer but it's not actually a veneer. It may be like a 3/4 crown or a partial crown and not a full coverage crown. And it can be coded a little bit differently so that your insurance company might see, oh, there's an actual functional reason for the veneer. So let's go ahead and pay our portion on that. Now, so the answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no. Check with your dentist, check with your insurance company and see if they cover those. Now, when you say, do they cover them? Sometimes people think, oh, my insurance company covers veneers, so I should get veneers. But remember, dental insurance only covers a portion of any given procedure. So particularly for major stuff like veneers, they're only going to cover a portion, which is usually somewhere between 30 and 50%, depending on the dentist. The policy is going to say 50%, but I'm telling you, from a reality perspective, it's somewhere between 30 and 50%. Okay, so there you go. But it'll max out at $1,500.
That's all the questions that we have on.
I was going to say something else. All right, and comments or questions? Nothing came through. Good. All right, so there you go. Bonding versus veneering. Bonding is quicker to complete. It's cheaper, and will still look really great, but will require maintenance and can chip and fracture in a short amount of time. Where veneers are much longer lasting. You can do a lot more. You can fix a lot more smile defects with veneering. The disadvantage is it takes a little bit longer and they're considerably more expensive. Oh, the cost. I remember there was one more thing, and here it is. It's the cost, actual cost. In this market, and I say South Carolina, for a veneer, you're going to find dentists that charge anywhere between $950 and I know someone that charges over $2,000 per tooth. Okay, so that's a pretty big range. And so it's up to you to make sure you interview the dentist, you look at their before and after pictures, find the right dentist for you who can enhance your smile that way, because not every veneer is a veneer, okay? So make sure you do your research on that. So anywhere between $900 to $2,000. And then for bonding, I know some dentists will, depending on the type of bonding, but it can range from like $150 to $200 per tooth, to other people that just charge 50% of their veneer fee. So if their veneer fee is $1,500, they'll charge $750 for bonding. All right, so you'll know for bonding you're going to pay somewhere between $200 and $400 or $500 per tooth. For the veneering, you're going to pay, around $1,500. Okay, and that is it. Thanks again, always for logging in and joining us on this Facebook Live. We hope you enjoyed it, and appreciate you tuning in to You Can't Handle the Tooth. This is Dr. J, the Real Floss Boss, signing off. We'll see you next week.